Hey folks, it's Matt once again, and last review of the Dirty Harry films, it is the Deadpool. This is always the cover that I remember the most when thinking of Dirty Harry, was always the cover for the Deadpool. Or I should say the poster for the Deadpool. It's directed by a friend of Clint Eastwood, Buddy Van Horn, I believe is his name. I think he also directed Pink Cadillac, I could be wrong though. And the Deadpool is the Dirty Harry film that not many people talk about. It's kind of the Dirty Harry film that people kind of put down and say it's just not as good or it's not as this and that. It's kind of put to the side. I know it has the lowest rating on IMDb. It made the lowest amount of money. It might have broke even, but I'm not sure. It definitely wasn't a hit like the other ones were. And it's a shame because I thought that the Deadpool is actually one of my favorite of the Dirty Harry films. I mean, I'll say like Madden Force is my favorite. Then it'd be Sudden Impact, and then it'd probably be the Deadpool, and then the Enforcer, and then the first film, Dirty Harry. And I thought it was a fun movie. It's the shortest of the films. Without the end credits, it's like an hour and 27 minutes. I mean, it's 91 minutes, but I'm just saying without the end credits, it's like an hour and 27 minutes. Cost 31 million and made 37 million. So it didn't really do too well. Plus, it also features probably one of the weirdest, strangest, and most original car chases I've ever seen in my life. Which that's to account for something. How many car chases have there been in movies? And this is probably one of the most original and strangest car chases in the history of film. which which I'll get to, but man, that's gotta account for something. But I think because I like the story. Again, it's a very short film. Without the end credits, under 90 minutes, and I really like the story. And you actually have you have Liam Neeson in the film. You had Jim Carrey in an early role. I think I always remember this has to me the best trailer because it has the Guns N' Roses "Welcome to the Jungle," which I think this was the first film that used that song because they're like, hey, in our movie, there's this guy who's a rock star. What songs do you have over there? Well, there's this new band. Well, there's these guys who made this song, and it was Welcome to the Jungle. So I think the first time people heard that song was from the Deadpool. So, and it's in the song 2 times. I mean, it's in the movie 2 times, and plus, it really made for a great trailer. You know, the editing and just. So yeah, I want to see this film. And the Deadpool is pretty much this list of celebrities that this game that people play with this list of celebrities that they think will die within a month or so because of their profession or because of how they live and so on and so forth. And so you see someone putting Harry Callahan on his Deadpool after he arrests this big time criminal. And pretty much quickly after, these two cars try to trap Dirty Harry, and he smashes back and forth, fucking hits one right in the head. Well, he hits one with his car. Then a guy tries to come up, and Harry just shoots one right in the fucking head and shoots like 3 of those guys. And of course, you have the typical superiors are mad at Harry, and Harry has a funny line. He says, "Well, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one." And I'm like, is this the first time we heard that? The opinions are like assholes. Everybody has opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. This might have been the first time we've heard that type of dialogue, that line. I can't remember a movie saying that line before. So I'm like, did that come from this movie, but no one realizes it? It might be, because I can't remember a movie saying a line like that before. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, you can let me know. But that line might have been from this movie. And I thought it has a lot of good lines of dialogue. Really love, this is a film that Siskel and Ebert gave 2 thumbs up. And they really liked. And I can see why. And he just partnered up with this guy, this Asian guy, which I thought he did a good job. I'm getting the guy's actor's name. I thought he did a good job as Eastwood's partner, Evan C. Kim. And that's kind of the thing about this box set that's kind of sad, is that I wish they would, again, just did a definitive documentary where they talked about each film. Because I see him, like, briefly in one featurette. Like, very briefly, and then he disappears, and I'm like, obviously he talked more than just that little brief bit. Come on now. He did a lot of TV. He was in Megaforce, TV miniseries V. Episodes of Alien Nation, and Matt's Headroom, and Matlock, Knight Rider, a lot of the TV shows. I thought he did a good job as the partner. And this one guy is there talking about how they need good public relations. He's like, yeah, I think it would be great that Harry would partner up with a Chinese American. And then Dirty Harry looks over and goes, you have any kids? No. Lucky for them. I thought Dirty Harry was pretty good. And then Jim Carrey's in this film. He's actually plays this rocker named Johnny with this music video being filmed that's an homage to The Exorcist. And you know, the song Welcome to the Jungle plays. And I gotta say though, watching again, Jim Carrey's performance, his acting is good, but the music video is really laughable dancing that you can't take seriously, because like it's like what well, I mean, obviously he didn't sing Welcome to the Jungle, Guns N' Roses did, but his lip syncing, so just really over the top, like, and then his dance, like, I'm like, even in the 80s, if I saw a music video with a rocker dancing like this, I would say he's a fucking goofball. So, I mean, it's not meant to be funny. I just saw Jim Carrey, even when dancing, trying to be serious, it's just laughable. Dancing is just... But acting-wise, he does a good job after that scene. It's just that one scene, just... He's fucking laughable dancing. It's not just because I know it's Jim Carrey. It's just I think his dance is... I know rockers dance maybe a little bit weird in the 80s, but not like what Jim Carrey did. And the director of the music video, who's a director of horror films, is actually fucking Liam Neeson. And it's like, wow, Liam Neeson is in the film. He has a pretty decent role in the film. Decent sized, I mean. And Jim Carrey, I mean, this is... I don't think it's his very first film, but it's definitely an early role. And, you know, it's a serious role. And I thought he does a good job as this sort of druggy rock star. He's not in the film too much, like maybe 5 minutes tops, but he's good for what he had to do. Talk about, you know, why don't you come up with something original instead of ripping off The Exorcist? He goes off back to his trailer, he's a drug, he does drugs, but then someone comes in, shoves something in his mouth, and he dies. Cardiac arrest. And Liam Neeson, his character, again, he's a horror film director. He directed this film called Hotel Satan, and all he does is care about his film. Eastwood and his partner come up to look at the body, and then the Jim Carrey's girlfriend comes by. The reporters hound her, so Eastwood takes a camera and just throws it and tosses it. And I'm like, I wonder if that's the first time that we saw that. I mean, I know it's 1980, but that's a It reminds me of what, like the same thing that Robert De Niro did in Showtime and a lot of other films, where the cop takes a video camera and smashes it. I'm like, is this the first time that happened in a film? I can't remember, because it's definitely something that you see a lot of times afterward. But he smashes the camera. Him and his partners in Chinatown. There's a guy, like they see a guy get shot and smashed through a window, so they don't want to see what's up. And I didn't get a fun line. Get out your fortune cookie. What? It says, you shit out of luck. Shoots some, even his partner gets one, gets the shit out of one, using his martial arts. And they find that the guy that's been shot actually has a Deadpool with Harry's name on it. So he investigates that. You also a little bit, probably the closest that you get to a romance with Dirty Harry in one of these films. And I forgot what the girl's name is. I think it's Patricia Clarkson. Yeah, Patricia Clarkson. Nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for film Pieces of April, which I didn't see. And she did a good job as the reporter. She was in The Untouchables, and then she was in this film. And been in quite a few films since. But I thought she did a good job as a reporter, and they're thinking of her lawsuit against Harry for breaking the fucking camera, but she's like, I'll drop it if we have dinner. And then she apologizes, says that she was out of line. So, she's a decent, likable person. You have some fun stuff with his partner, where they're lifting weights, and the guy's trying to lift the weights, and Harry's looking at a woman exercising. He's like, Harry, help. It's like, oh yeah, okay, sorry about that. But then they continue the investigation about this Deadpool. Talks to Liam Neeson, and he goes, well, maybe I'll make my own Deadpool and put you on the list. Have a little bit more romance, another dinner with the reporter, but that's when they're in this glass elevator and they get shot at. And Clint Eastwood was able to get some of them. Sorry. Eastwood was able to get out there and get some of those bad guys. And you have a really fun scene where, he's tired of being shot at by this guy that he arrested and he's put in prison. So he goes to the prison and he gets this big guy and goes pretty much, just stand where I tell you and I'll give you these cigarettes. So the guy does it, and he walks over to the sort of the mobster that he put away, and pretty much talks about how he's going to, says you seem like you have some free time, so I'm going to give you a job. You're going to be the postman. You see that guy? He was arrested for killing 3 men. You know how he did it? He tore them apart with his teeth. And see, he's going to be my new pen pal. See, I'm going to send him a letter saying about how I'm looking after his mother. I'm going to give him these special privileges. And if he doesn't get his mail, he's going to be real pissed off. He's going to come to see you because you're the postman. And who knows, maybe it'll cancel your ass like a stamp. I just thought it was a really fun scene. Sort of get the guy to back off. And then when he walks by the big guy, he tells him a fucking lie and says, you see that dirtbag there I was talking to? Gives him his cigarettes. Well, he's told me that anyone who smokes this much must be a dumb son bitch. And so the big guy looks at him. Really big, scary looking guy looks at the mobster guy, and the mobster guy gets scared. Goes back to his cell. Thought that was a really fun scene. Then the next person that gets killed is this female critic. Which I know at one point some people thought that maybe that was meant to be Pauline Kael, this female critic that gave the Dirty Harry films some really bad press and stuff, but who knows if that was really the case. But pretty much what the killer's doing is trying to make Liam Neeson be this primary suspect. But of course, anyone who's seen films, you know that Liam Neeson's not the one doing it, because he's such a red herring that it's very obvious that he didn't do it. And that is the case. Just to a point where this other guy who says that he's a killer, he's actually doused himself in gasoline, he's outside, he's ready to torch himself, he wants cameras. When they finally do, he's like, no, I didn't really do it, I just pretty much wants attention. And then the film reporter does something that Patricia Clarkson says, I'm not going to film your suicide. And Clint Eastwood's undercover as the cameraman, says, okay, you can go ahead and douse yourself. We'll even pull out the marshmallows. But you're not getting on the 6 o'clock news. It pretty much is getting the guy to say, okay, I won't do it. But because the gasoline is drifting down and there's like a flare that he had dropped before, kind of accidentally, he gets doused in flames anyway. It's the fact that he was ready to say, okay, I won't do it, and then he gets doused by by a fire. And then you have the killer kill another person using a fucking toy car. And this leads to, getting soon to, again, one of the more stranger car chases in history. But this one other celebrity is killed by a toy car bomb. And then Eastwood's jogging. He's being followed, beats the fuck out of these two guys. And he's like, you fuck with me, buddy. I'll kick your ass so hard you'll be a butt your collar to shit. And then it's like, no, we're your bodyguards. Because the guy who scared the shit out of in prison got so scared that he actually hired bodyguards for him. Weirdly enough, these bodyguards never come into play later on in the film. I guess it's just sort of to finish that story that, okay, Harry's not going to be... They're not going to chase down Harry anymore. Instead, he's got body... But again, these bodyguards never show up anymore. Because that's when, a little bit later, you have him and his partner, the driving, and then some stuff happens, and the toy car accidentally goes underneath Eastwood's car and comes off the other side, and Eastwood looks at it. And because in the previous crime scene, he found like this little toy wheel, and he puts two and two together. And that's, from what I understand, it's an homage to the car chase scene in Bullet, only it's the killer is in one car, he's using a remote control of a toy car, and they're both chasing Clint Eastwood and his partner's car. And it's a really fun car chase scene, and again, it's probably one of the most original, well, I mean, one of the strangest car chases in film history. Eastwood is being chased by a toy car with like C4, and then being chased by the killer who's using it. Again, one of the strangest car chases, but very entertaining. Made me laugh and chuckle. And that was meant to on purpose. And he's able to get out of it because the toy car's ready to blow up, but Eastwood backs up, so only blows up the front of their car. The partner gets hurt, but he's not dead. He's in the hospital. And pretty much the bad guy kidnaps the reporter girl. Eastwood finds out, chases her after where she's at in this warehouse. The killer's ready to kill her. You find out that the killer was this guy who wanted to be a screenwriter for Liam Neeson's character, wrote these scripts for Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson said no. And guy's like a, what do you call it? Not psychopath, but fuck, there's a certain word that he used. Fuck, I forgot. Guy's just psycho. And schizophrenic, I think, is what he said. Might be wrong. Maybe it wasn't schizophrenic. It was, I don't know, just the guy's a fucking psycho. And That's where the killer's actually playing Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle again, ready to kill her. Eastwood gets there, but he has to drop his gun. Him and the woman escape. A little bit of a hide and seek. Makes the killer use up all the bullets of the gun. And Eastwood comes out. Just previously, when we saw Liam Neeson, he's making this film, we saw a certain prop that was used in the making of the film. And now this is the same place again later on in the film. Eastwood comes out of the smoke with like the biggest fucking harpoon gun you ever saw. He's like, you're out of bullets. And you know what that means? You shit out of luck. And fires this big massive harpoon and harpoons the guy to the wall. I'm like, yeah, alright. You know, if this is the last Dirty Harry film, why not him using the biggest fucking harpoon gun ever, saying that he's shit out of luck and harpooning his ass to the wall. I'm down with that. Him and Patricia Clarkson go off, and again, it's a wide shot pan. Lalo Schifrin did the score. I like the score, okay. I'd probably say I like the score of Man and Force and Sudden Impact more. But I probably like it as much as the score in the first film. Definitely better than the score in The Enforcer, which that's the only one that Lalo Schifrin didn't do the score for. It was nice to see an early appearance by Jim Carrey. Liam Neeson I thought was good in the film. I like that the story centered around, you know, this horror film director and then this writer that wanted to write for horror films, but he was a psycho. And you know, killing this whole idea of the Deadpool, some fun action scenes like the toy car bomb chase sequence, very inventive in my opinion. Goes at a fast pace. I mean, again, the film was only 90 minutes. Without the end credits, like an hour and 27 minutes, so it wasn't boring at all. The guy who played his partner, I thought he did a good job. Patricia Clarkson wasn't annoying or irritating. She was fine as the female reporter. Some really good lines of dialogue. Great way to kill the bad guy with a gigantic fucking harpoon saying you shit out of luck. Very entertaining, very fun film. Definitely easily my third favorite behind Sudden Impact and Madam Force. Again, I say Madam Force, Sudden Impact, the Deadpool, and then I'd probably go The Enforcer and the first film. But I like all the films. I don't think this film really deserved the flop, or it didn't really do that well. I say break even, but that's not including advertising, that's not including marketing, that's not including trailers and other stuff. So maybe video and stuff they made a little bit of a profit, but not really much. So that's a shame, because again, I think this is one of the better Dirty Harry films. And if this is the swan song of Dirty Harry, that's fine, because yeah, I would not have minded to see a Dirty Harry film, say, in the 90s. Now it's too late. He's just too old, but well, that video game they were going to do for PS3, that would have been fine, but just wasn't in the cards. But I really enjoy the Deadpool, and I really enjoy the Dirty Harry series. I think the Dirty Harry series is a fun, entertaining series. Clint Eastwood is my favorite role the guy's done. I think he knocks out of the park with his character, Dirty Harry Callahan, with his .44 Magnum. Some good scores by Lalo Schifrin, some good supporting cast. A lot of action. A lot of entertainment. Yeah, I think great series of films, and the Deadpool was a good ending to it. I enjoy the film. I don't think it deserves that. You know, I think the rating on IMDb could be higher, and among other stuff. But I really enjoy the film. I think it came out about 5 years after Sudden Impact, about 1988. So I don't know. Maybe it was part of that summer of '88. I mean, I think around this time you had stuff like Die Hard and among other films. So maybe just one of those things that people were just sick of Dirty Harry, or they were just lost interest in Dirty Harry. I don't know. It's not like a lot of people talk about Dirty Harry nowadays. I know like Wild Man Beyond, he does, and I'm doing it now, but not many people talk about Dirty Harry. But still think it's Clint Eastwood's best character, and in my opinion, his best films. But anyway, that's my review of the Deadpool and my review of the Dirty Harry films. Hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for some random stuff. See you later.